Hello and welcome to Shootin' the Breeze. I'm WECT First Alert Chief Meteorologist Gannon Medwick, and I'm so happy to have you along for this loaded 12th episode. Lots to get to here in early November, and as always, it starts with trivia. November is the final official month of Atlantic hurricane season, and statistically, one of the season's least active months for tropical cyclones. U.S. hurricane landfalls are very rare in November. So, just how long has it been since a hurricane made landfall in the U.S. in November? Has it been A, 1 year, B, 8 years, C, 21 years, or D, 34 years? The answer's coming up as we wrap up Shootin' the Breeze in just minutes. According to popular North Carolina weather lore, a warm November is a harbinger of a cold winter. Now, a lot of weather lore has some really good bones, and I wanted this one to be true as anecdotally, I think large-scale jet stream and temperature patterns seem to flip on 1 to 3 month timescales. But with the help of the National Weather Service here in Wilmington, this piece of weather lore just doesn't hold up statistically. Using a sample size of the last 80 falls and winters, a warmer than average November does not at all correlate to a colder than average winter, i.e. December, January, February in the port city. If anything, warm Novembers are weakly correlated with warmer following winters, and in a similar way, cold winters are weakly correlated with cold preceding Novembers. Pretty weak relationships all around though. So while this piece of weather lore is fun, you should probably not look to November weather as any sort of solid indicator on how the upcoming winter will be. In this Forecaster's Notebook segment, Fall, Frost, and Freeze Climatology. The Lower Cape Fear region is a fairly tight-knit zone of 5 primary counties and several peripheral ones. But even still, the onset of frost and or freeze conditions in autumn can vary wildly. A lot of it has to do with the process of radiational cooling outlined in episode 6 of Shootin' the Breeze. That is, areas just away from overnight heat sources like urban sprawl and the ocean can and do cool to frosty and or freezing temperatures much more rapidly and efficiently. And these climatological tendencies are big drivers in forecast thinking. To the maps we go. Let's look at the first fall frost climatology first. Lots of diversity in the data over short distances, with the beaches and barrier islands of the Cape Fear region not experiencing their average first frost until early November. The average first fall freeze is an interesting animal climatologically also, with inland portions of the Cape Fear region averaging their first fall freeze up to 2 weeks earlier than insulated areas like the Cape Fear riverfront and downtown Wilmington, and of course the beaches. Climo data can be thought of as a silent partner in a forecast. Records are meant to be broken, of course, but frost and freeze climatology is an excellent cross-referencing tool for the challenging transition season of fall. And remember, your WECT weather app is always good for localized, hour-by-hour forecast temperature trends, as well as any relevant frost or freeze bulletins that may come from our local National Weather Service office. Every day when you tune into your First Alert forecasts, you see our meteorologists presenting from the weather wall primarily. But there are plenty of camera shots from the forecast center, and that is where our primary assembly of weather computer monitors are located. In this behind-the-scenes segment, I wanted to show you just what we're looking at and interacting with through those monitors. The chief weather graphics software program we use in the First Alert Forecast Center is called MAX, and each First Alert meteorologist has his own what's called workspace within MAX. Here's mine as an example. There's a main menu on top and a menu of what are called weather hits on the left. I choose to use one main weather hit for all of my day-to-day weather broadcasts, but I do have some auxiliary hits for things like tornado warnings and Shootin' the Breeze. My main weather hit has a litany of graphics, close to 400 of them, and that's in my library in the lower right. On the left, many of these graphics, including studio scenes like our 7-day forecast, and data sets like auto-updating Carolina radar, are loaded and in position to take to air in any order of my choosing. And what will air shows prominently in the previewer in the upper right. So for instance, if I want to lead a weather segment with Cape Fear temperatures, I can easily make sure that map is queued up with the previewer. Now, good for us, MAX is laden with convenient editors and the graphics update instantaneously, so there's no rendering necessary. So now you know, when your trusted First Alert meteorologist is delivering your forecast, he or she is relying on an important partner in MAX. It's time to see how you did on this episode's trivia question. How long has it been since a hurricane has made landfall in the U.S. in the month of November? A lot of conditions there. A good time to note that this episode 12 of Shootin' the Breeze is dropping in November 2023. So let's do some quick math and congratulate you if you selected A. It's been just 1 year. On November 10th, 2022, Category 1 Hurricane Nicole made landfall on the east coast of Florida near Vero Beach. Nicole's high winds, heavy rainfall, and storm surge battered many of the same areas that were hard hit by the ferocious Hurricane Ian earlier in the 2022 season. That was in the more traditionally tropically active month of September. Hurricane Nicole served and still serves as a good reminder that, yes, even though November is a statistically inactive month for such storms and landfalls, it's best to stay vigilant and prepared throughout all corners of hurricane season, even up to the tail end. And the comprehensive and locally focused Hurricane Center at WECT.com and your WECT weather app is always a great place to start. That's it for this 12th episode of Shootin' the Breeze. I'll try to have another one drop over the holidays. In the meantime, I always enjoy it when you connect with me on these platforms. If you have a question about a topic you saw here on Shootin' the Breeze, if you have a suggestion for a Cape Fear or Carolina weather item you'd like to see covered, or if you just want to say hello and what's the good word. And as always, WECT.com/anywhere is a great place to find more unique OTT content. Hope I'll see you for the next episode of Shootin' the Breeze, and take care.